Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Melissa Valdez, and I am the proud principal of Memorial Middle School. It is my honor to privilege you to LISD Memorial Day ceremony hosted by the LISD Board of Trustees. And now we get to close our school year with this very important observance. Please know that you honor us with your presence, and we will always be deeply grateful to the men and women who died while serving their country, our country. At this time, I would like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Memorial Middle School teacher, Mr. Jose Cárdenas.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to serve as your Master of Ceremonies as we remember those valiant soldiers of the United States Armed Forces who made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. At this time, I ask that you please rise for the invocation to be given today by Memorial Middle School student Alice Hernandez.
Good morning. Today we are here to honor those who have served our country and given their lives so that we may stand here and still live in freedom. We need to be constantly reminded our gift of freedom and of those who gave out to make sure future generations continue to know life in a free democratic society. Remembering those who have passed is only half of the task today before us today. We must also carry their love, honor, and duty forward to the future generations that will pass. Our children must know who they were, what they did, and why they did it. To do anything else will be a disservice to their sacrifice and their memories. Those that are gone created a clear pathway for us to continue. We must never waver from the path of freedom and democracy. Take their memories, take their dreams, and walk forward shouldering the cause of freedom. Carry it high and proud. They did, and now we must do it for them and for our children. May God bless them, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Please remain standing for the presentation of the colors by the Laredo Independent School District Police Department Color Guard.
Forward, march. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. March time. March. Honor guard. Hold. Left, face. Present arms.
And now the United States Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Memorial Middle School student Albert Vargas, and the Texas Pledge will be given by David Nájera.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Order, arms. Prepare to post. Post. Dress. Left, face. Forward, march. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Left.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce our dignitaries joining us this morning. Please help me welcome from the Laredo Independent School District, the Honorable Guadalupe Gomez, District 2. The Honorable Rick Garza, District 4. The Superintendent of Schools of Laredo Independent School District, Dr. Cynthia Guerrero. Webb County Justice of the Peace, the Honorable Oscar Liendo, Precinct 1. The former Laredo City Councilman, the Honorable Alfredo Agredano. Former LISD Board of Trustees President Abraham Rodriguez. And Webb County Constable for Precinct 1, Claudia Cantu. I ask that all the veterans joining us today to please rise and be recognized. You have our gratitude for all of the sacrifices you've made and for the valor of serving our country. Thank you. And now addressing us this morning on behalf of the Board of Trustees is Mr. Rick Garza. Ricardo Rick Garza has been a member of the LISD Board of Trustees for more than 10 years. A product of LISD and a 1981 graduate of Nixon High School, Mr. Garza received a bachelor's degree in science degree from Southwest Texas State University in 1986. Mr. Garza currently is owner-operator of Twins Mechanical Incorporated. An active civic leader, Mr. Garza has volunteered in various leadership positions with the Laredo Under 7 Flags Rotary Club, City of Laredo Airport Committee, Laredo Beautification Committee, City of Laredo Transportation Committee, and the Laredo Center for the Arts. Mr. Garza and his wife, Adelina Flores Garza, have 2 children, Hannah Victoria, excuse me, and Sarah Sophia. Please help me welcome to the podium the Honorable Mr. Rick Garza.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody can hear me? Good morning, everybody. I'm so proud to be here every day. Every single time that I get invited to this ceremony, I am deeply honored and am taken aback at the wonderful things that we do here at LISD. Ever since I've got here, one of the things that I've been pushing, as you all have seen and noticed out in the public, is that on every occasion, I don't think we even do it enough as it is, but we have to honor our veterans. We have to continuously teach our kids about the history of the United States, and why this is the greatest country in the history of the world. In doing so, we promote and we have our monthly honoring of a monthly veteran there at the regular school board meetings. And I take great pride in that because we have to continuously, again, put it in front of you all. All of you all are middle school students. So we only ask a couple of things out of you every day that you wake up, that you honor your parents, that you get enough sleep so you can come here and learn, and that you understand how lucky you are to be here. And all of that wouldn't be possible without all the sacrifices of the gentlemen that are here and the gentlemen we are honoring today. It is very important that we understand that in memory of all the people that had sacrificed for you all to wake up every day and to have a free school, come here for free, to be coming to school safely, to be coming to school to get educated and learn as many things as you want in a free standing society is not very common around the world these days. So you need to make sure that you do one thing at the very least when you see a veteran. Say thank you for your service. Am I in agreement with that for everybody out there? Say thank you to every veteran that you see every single time that you see one. Gentlemen, on behalf of the 20,000 students at LISD and the 4,500 employees, I, for myself, from my heart, would like to say thank you for your service. And welcome to Memorial Middle School.
Before I forget, please help me welcome Webb County Judge, the Honorable Tano Tijerina. Our instructional leader places a great emphasis on love of country, patriotism, and citizenship. Please welcome to the podium the Superintendent of LISD Schools, Dr. Sylvia Rios.
Good morning, everyone. A very special thank you to all of our veterans here, and a very special message for our students as well as all who are gathered here today. I have two phrases. You have to remember where I come from. I'm 66 years old, so I'm going to be 67, God willing. And so I have seen a lot of history being made, even though I didn't understand all of it. And this message is for you students to think about. But it's also something that comes from the heart for me, for all of our veterans and their families. I'm going to start off with duty, honor, country. I know that those three words mean a lot to you, particularly when you took that oath and you went to serve your country, our democratic principles. Duty, honor, country. The other phrase, when I first went to Washington to see the wonderful tributes to our soldiers, to our country, to those who sacrificed, I saw on a memorial 3 words, actually 4, let's count correctly. Freedom is not free. And those of you who have served this country understand the meaning of those words. Freedom is not free. I don't care if you call it a war or a conflict. I grew up in the 70s when Vietnam was right at the forefront of every single thing that was going on in our country. I also come from a family of uncles who served in one of those wars or conflicts. But when I came to Laredo, I met a young lady who is right now the director of the Dennis D. Cantu Early College High School. And maybe you already know her because she graduated from Martin High School. Maybe you already know of her family. Her name is Jerry Arredondo. And one of the young men listed on this poster is her brother. And so one of the things that she told me was, I remember my brother because I was the youngest in the family, and I was jumping on the bed. And she goes, I was jumping on the bed, and I'm a little kid, I don't understand that my brother was going to be drafted to go to Vietnam. And so she goes, and I remember having so much fun, and he was catching me. And when I would fall on the bed, he would throw me up again. That's what I remember of my brother. Sadly to say, that's one of the last memories that she had, because her brother was killed in Vietnam. And what she remembers about that was not just what happened, but what it did to her family. She said that her father never recovered, that he couldn't understand why his son died and why he was sent and what was the reason for going to that conflict, and was his death something that could be honored or attributed to the meaning of sacrifice. So when we talk about freedom is not free, we're not just talking about the young men and young women, the representatives here of every single person who ever served our country from Laredo or from the surrounding area. We're talking about families who in some way experienced that sacrifice, who in some way prayed for their brothers, their sisters, their aunts and uncles to come back home. One of the other experiences that I had, my husband served as a medic. He was 17. He was going to serve. He had a high draft number, and those of you who are out there, you may not understand what draft is. In a time of war, when men and women are needed, they are given a number, and there's a lottery. And you draw that number to see who's going to serve in the war, or who's going to serve their country. So my husband had a high draft number. And so he decided that he was going to go into the Navy, because he thought, what can happen in the Navy? This was in 1964. Okay? He was 17 years old. So guess what? He went into the Navy, he became a medic, and as soon as he finished his training, it was, you no longer have a Navy uniform. Now you have a Marine uniform. All of a sudden, you traded uniforms, and now you were sent to a country thousands of miles away. Now think about this, guys, girls. You are being sent from a place that you know, people that know you and love you. You took an oath, and you made that commitment to travel. So he was 17, he ended up being 18 when he went over there. And so he served as a medic. And he tells me that for a long time he couldn't talk about his service. He couldn't stand in a parade because it was difficult for those veterans that came back from Vietnam. And everyone experiences war in a different way. But one of the things that really stuck to me was not that he went away as a 17 or 18-year-old. How old are you if you're an 8th grader? Tell me, how old are you right now? Somebody yell it out. How old are you if you're... How old? 14. So 3 years from that age, that young man went to war. Think about that. 3 years older. 4 years by the time he finished basic. What's important about that is going away, but continuing to serve. Now here's the part that really struck me. So we came home, he came home, and so years later, you know, it's at a barbecue at his brother's house here in Laredo, and his brother was a little brother when my husband went to war. And so his brother is sitting there at this barbecue, and he's saying, I remember, Lionel, when when you went away. Because Mom cried every day. She waited for your letters. She didn't know what was going to happen. And he was like about 8 years old. He says, and I remember crying for you because I didn't know. So sacrifice is about actually putting on that uniform, being firm, understanding that duty, honor, and country means something. It's not just a set of words. It's not just a uniform. It's not just a training. It means something that is special and important that not everyone can do, not everyone can give. That sacrifice is yours. And you came back, and you are able to tell us the history. And those of you, Mr. Garza, you're correct. It is our responsibility to teach citizenship. It is our responsibility to remember. It is our responsibility to carry forth the principles of democracy. In a few years, you are going to get to vote. And shame on you if you do not go to vote. Why? Because people like these sitting here have made the sacrifice to keep our country being a free country. They have made the sacrifice on their own physical well-being, but that of their families. And that, to me, is probably the biggest gift you have given me as a wife of a veteran, the mom to a 20-year veteran who is my son, and all my aunts and uncles, one who served and was imprisoned in the Philippines. So I understand. I will never understand the deepest sacrifice that you made when you went away. But I understand that duty, honor, and country means something to you. And I challenge all the 8th graders here and 7th graders to think about that. What is your duty in respecting this country and the sacrifice that these gentlemen and ladies have made in their families? How will you honor them? And how will you think about your country and how you want to keep it as the country that it is today? Because freedom is not free. Everyone has a responsibility to walk up, to run, to do whatever is necessary to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. To you, ladies and gentlemen, and to your families, with deepest, deepest gratefulness and thank you, I will say to you, you are the heroes that continue to stand today for our country. So thank you. And thank you to your families that have made the sacrifice to make this country be the country in which we live today. To you 8th graders and 7th graders, you are in a very special school. Why do you think it's called Memorial? If you have a chance, come and read those names. They were somebody's son. They were somebody's father. They were somebody's daughter. They were a part of a family that now has that recollection of who they are. I think of Jerry Arredondo, and she reminds me of, hey, the last time I saw my brother before he took off on that bus was me jumping on the bed as a little kid and him catching me and laughing. That is what I want you to remember. That we have that responsibility. We have that duty. We have to honor those who have come before us because we don't know what the future holds. And we have this country in which we live, and we have to take care of it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here today and making this ceremony so special to us. Thank you, Memorial Middle School, and those who are seated here today. And thank you for making us understand the importance of love of country, duty, honor, and sacrifice. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rios. And now I invite Memorial Middle School students Brianna Gonzalez, Alberto Vargas, and David Nájera to conduct the formal roll call of our fallen heroes. Members of the Martin High School ROTC will answer for our fallen heroes.
Maurice Acabas.
Present.
George Bidgen. Adam Bode. Moises Carejo.
Present.
Jack Carew. Alfred J. Kusunu.
Here.
Leonard Diaz. Luis F. Folsom. Francisco Garcia.
Here.
Benjamin Hasty.
Present.
William H. Lake. Millis Little. Edmundo Lopez. Luke W. Loftus. Lorenzo Rendon. J.P. Ross.
Here.
Guston K. Smith.
Present.
Dewey Tillman. Percy R. Winch. Charles E. Woodall.
Present.
Jose Ibarra. Jose Zamora.
Present.
David Barkley Cantu, recipient, Medal of Honor.
Here.
World War II, Guillermo Abrego. John B. Alexander. Juan Alvarez. Enrique Ambrose. Joseph Roger Amparan.
Here.
Jesus F. Ayala.
Present.
Daniel Barrera. Paul C. Buben. Benigo Benavides Jr.
Here.
Edward C. Bubel. Andrew Brubaker.
Here.
Celeso Cavazos.
Here.
Rodolfo Cavazos. Jesús Chapa Barrio. Andrés Cisneros. Robert F. Clark. John C. Conley.
Present.
Joaquin Cortez. Frank P. Daughtery Jr. Eduardo Davila. Luis Degollado. Edward D. de la Chica. Cristóbal de la Garza.
Here.
José de la Paz.
Present.
World War II continued. Alfonso A. del Barrio. Jesús Dimas. Emil Henry Dio. Kyle N. Drake. Manuel Escamilla Jr.
Present.
Cuauhtemoc P. Escobedo.
Here.
Luis Estrada. Alfonso R. Flores. Alfredo Flores. Candelario Flores. Gilberto Flores.
Here.
Reyes Flores Jr.
Present.
Socorro Flores. José Gallegos. Conrado Gamboa. George A. Gaona. Alfredo García.
Here.
Conrado García. Erasmo García. Esteban García Jr. José García Jr. Pablo García. Reinaldo García.
Present.
Tomás García.
Here.
Amadeo R. Garza. José C. de León.
World War Forward to continue. Pascual de León. Trinidad J. Díaz.
Here.
Faustino Garza.
Present.
Guadalupe H. Garza. Jesús D. Garza. Vicente Garza Jr. Blas Antonio Gil. Triunfo Gil.
Present.
Arturo González.
Here.
Bernardo M. González. Ernesto González. Fulgencio R. González. Gabriel Hector González. Juan González.
Who?
Manuel P. González.
Present.
Pedro González. Julián Granados. Frank E. Guernsey. Luis B. Guerra. Luis Guerra.
Here.
Margarito J. Guerrero.
Who?
Noé B. Guevara. Carlos P. Gus. Santiago R. Gutierrez. Edward F. Haynes. Florentino B. Hernández.
Present.
Salvador T. Hernández.
Here.
Santiago Hernández. Mario Leal. Thomas R. Leary. Federico C. Linares. Philip D. Lisner.
Here.
Everardo López.
Who?
Enrique Luna Jr. Fred Luna. George T. Maher.
Here.
A.J. Mann. Peter Marinos.
Here.
Cruz Eo Márquez.
Present.
Alberto Martínez. Alejo Martínez. Antonio Martínez. Francisco Martínez. Julio Martínez.
Present.
Jesús U. Martínez.
Here.
Víctor P. Martínez. Salvador Mascorro. Harold L. McFarland. Jerónimo Mendoza. Domingo Mendoza.
Here.
Enrique Mendoza.
Who?
Héctor S. Molina. Ernesto Montoya. Francisco R. Mora. Ross M. Morales. Jesús Moreno.
Present.
Robert F. Munn.
Here.
José M. Muñoz. Raulita Murphy. Joseph Neal Naranjo. Baltasar Portales Nieto. Fred G. Ochoa.
Here.
Horacio J. Palacios.
Present.
Sócrates S. Papas. Manuel G. Pedrosa. Ignacio Peña. José M. Peña. Patricio Peña.
Here.
Waldo L. Peña.
Present.
Pedro L. Pérez. Simón R. Pérez. Delmar D. Pana. Joaquín Ponce. Luis Puster.
Present.
Juan G. Quintero.
Here.
Francisco S. Ramirez. Calvin Earl Randolph. Charles E. Randolph. Jesús Rentería. Domingo Reyes.
Here.
Forward to continue. Alejandro Reina.
Present.
Jerónimo Rodríguez Jr. Ramiro Rodríguez. Simón Rodolfo. Domingo Sáenz. Alfredo Sánchez.
Here.
Santiago Sánchez Jr.
Who?
Manuel Sandoval. Thomas Q. Scott. Leslie Skaggs. Kirby J. Smith Sr. Valente J. Solis.
Present.
Marion Random Tarvin Jr.
Here.
Ricardo S. Urdiales. Lauro Uribe. Cipriano S. Vaca. Luis Bowles. Jose W. Vasquez Jr.
Here.
Robert Volpe.
Who?
Hinton B. Wright. Ricardo Zez. Trinidad P. Ramírez. José C. Ramón. Pedro B. Ramos.
Present.
Joe J. Hogan.
Here.
Martín Jaime. Gilberto M. Juárez. Antonio Picasa Mercado. Constantin Mims Jr. Mariano Arredondo. Korean conflict. Javier H. Ayala.
Present.
Alfredo Cantú. Ricardo Castro Jr. Joseph M. Castro. Lonnie B. Flowers. Paz Frausto. Humberto Garza.
Present.
Oscar González. José Roberto Gutiérrez. Lucio J. Gutiérrez. Gustavo Hernández. Francisco H. Izquierdo.
Present.
Amado Leal.
Work.
Quintin Maravillo. Romero M. Martínez. Jesús Mendiola. Oscar M. Morales. Arnoldo V. Reina. Alfredo Sánchez.
Present.
José Sánchez. Cayetano Sosa. Missing in action. Crescencio García Jr. Rubén Garza. Paul H. Gloria. Herschel H. Rizal Jr.
Present.
Alfredo T. Treviño. Julio Villarreal. Vietnam War. John Adam Avera. Florentino Cantú Jr. Juan Carrillo. Pedro J. Caudillo. Dieter W. Dietz. Juan Flores. Everaldo Galindo Jr. Alejandro García Jr. Antonio García. Heriberto A. García.
Present.
José Substrano Garza. Juan José González. Rodolfo G. González. Steven Hernández. Armando Leal Jr.
Present.
Nathan James Mann.
Work.
Guadalupe Martínez. Juan Andrés Martínez. Fidel Padilla. Homero Pérez. William Ball Billy Reed. Arturo Salazar.
Present.
Javier Arturo Sánchez. José C. Santos. Jorge Sosa. Ignacio Torres Jr. Reinaldo Torres Jr.
Present.
Raúl Villa.
Here.
Desert Storm. Edward Sheffield. Luis Delgado. Iraq E. Freedom. Michael Raúl Barrera.
Here.
Juan Rodrigo Rodríguez.
Work.
Roberto Arizola Jr. Belton Locklear III. Afghanistan War. David Lee Espinosa.
And now we will remember our prisoners of war and those missing in action. As you enter the Memorial Middle School gymnasium this morning, you may have noticed a small table in the place of honor. It is set for one. The table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our armed forces are missing from the mist. They're commonly called POWs or MIAs. We call them brothers. They aren't able to be with us this morning, and so we remember them. This table for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his oppressors. Remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to the country's call to arms. Remember. The red ribbon tied so prominently on the vase is reminiscent of the red ribbon worn upon the lapel and breasts of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting of our missing. Remember, the candle is lit. symbolizing the upward reach of their unconquerable spirit. Remember. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Remember, there is salt upon the bread plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Remember, the glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us this night. Remember, the chair. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember. Remember, all of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depended upon their might and aid, and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember. Remember until the day they come home. Remember. At this time, we invite our board members to assist in placing a wreath of flowers in memory of our fallen heroes. Military protocol calls for a 21-gun salute, which will be conducted by a combined force of the Webb County Sheriff's Department Honor Guard. Taps will be played by Mr. Roberto Lopez, Hidalgo Trevino, Thank School instructor. I would like to call up Memorial Middle School student Dalit Nahera to close with a benediction, followed by the retirement of colors by the Martin High School ROC Color Club.
Remember today all those who have come before us and given the greatest gift to our democratic nation, their lives, their duty, their honor, and their lives are precious gifts that must be given to the future of our country and our families. The duty of our veterans, past and present, is the fiber of the word freedom, and is made stronger by recognition of service and sacrifice. We honor that service today and should carry it forward for our children to honor. Freedom and democracy are the result of all the most honorable this country has produced. Today we stand to remember the most honorable among us, and we must continue to carry the burden of their sacrifice, lest we lose sight of what true freedom is. Today is for remembering. Stand in honor of them. Walk in their path of duty. Remember the cost and hold in your heart the cause of freedom. Thank you.
Right. March time. March. Honor guard. Hold. Right. Face. Present. Arms.
21% attack. Present. Arms.
Order. Arms. Prepare to retreat. Retreat. Colors. Left. Face. Forward. March. Left. 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 Right. Left. 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 Right. Order.
Our deepest thanks to the Laredo ISD Color Guard. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and students, for joining us this morning. It is truly an honor to have you visiting our school. Your presence means so much to us. And now I invite you to our reception. Please join us for refreshments in the company of our veterans. Also, just to let you know that we are a voting site and we are taking votes at our library. Thank you. Have a good day.